no DTCs. And we have all monitors set and running and ready to go. Welcome back, guys, to Steven's DIY Auto Repair. Today we're back here with part 3 and the final part to this 2004 Toyota Camry, the check engine light. And guess what, guys? We fixed it. As you can see, no check engine light. As well as no DTCs. And we have all monitors set and running and ready to go. Check it out, guys. So this is going to be the last video of the check engine light regarding the O2 sensors and the catalytic converter. So what happened since the last video, guys, is finally got new tires so that we could safely drive the vehicle. And the O2 sensor, since taking off that Houdini crap, the O2 sensor started performing every time like it should, which was up, down, up, down, up, down, going lean to rich, rich to lean, lean to rich, rich to lean. That's what we wanted to see. So initially, this takes us back to why it's important to diagnose your car and not just start throwing parts on there. Because if that was the case, we would have ended up throwing at least $600 catalytic converter on there, and it still wouldn't have fixed our problem. And the reason why I did not throw a catalytic converter on there right away, even though the condition of like the oil burning and all that was bad, was because I noticed that the O2 sensor, bank 1, sensor 2, was not always performing like it should. You know, sometimes it would go up and down, then it would just be straight line, it would just zigzag, it was all over the place. So that told me that there was an issue with that O2 sensor area or above. So like anywhere from that sensor all the way up to the first sensor or to the engine, that there was a problem. So that was why we didn't go ahead and just pop on a new catalytic converter. And also because they're super expensive. So what we did was, once we noticed the O2 sensor performing like it should, and the fuel trims looked even a little bit better, and just everything was overall better, what we tried for the P2423 code is we tried some CataClean. Not a sponsor, guys. But anyway, we put this CataClean in there, and it's supposed to restores and maintains exhaust and fuel system performance. Hopefully if that'll focus. Maybe, guys. So yeah. So we went ahead, bought this. It was about $30 at AutoZone. We had our fuel tank about a quarter of the way, and we poured that bottle in there and we just ran it. I actually drove it to work, and you know, the fuel light was on. I live pretty far from work, so I stopped by. It was a real funny story. I stopped by the gas station, put in some gas, about $20, gave me about a half a tank. Turned the car on, and the check engine light went away. So the check engine light went off, and when I plugged up my scan tool, we still had the stored P2423 code and the freeze frame data. So what we did was we went ahead and erased that code, and then we drove it around just back and forth to work and around as much as we could. until the last monitor evap set, the green one right here. And for all of them to turn green and set, it took about 4 days. We took it down. It was time for an emissions test anyway. Got the emissions test and it passed. Turn the car off there, guys. So it passed emissions. Great. Finally. So yeah, guys, I mean, that's pretty much what we did, and we have fixed it. The main problem was just that extension, that Houdini crap they had there, that somebody had there, was not letting the O2 sensor read like it should. And that was what was giving us the faulty O2 sensor code. Now, as for the catalytic converter inefficiency, because who knows how long it spent burning oil, and since the O2 sensors were not the right ones, and the second bank 1 sensor 2 had that extension on there, the air fuel ratio was off, so who knows how long that was going. So it was giving us that code because I figured it was just dirty, and that's why we went and tried some CataClean, put it in there, hopefully cleaned it, which it did, and we have no more codes. So if that did not fix it, I had a few options. I could go ahead and buy another bottle, throw in there, and see what that does. Or I was going to check the circuit on the bank 1 sensor 3 and check the integrity of the circuits and the actual O2 sensor itself. And then the third and final option would just be to actually replace your catalytic converter. We know that catalytic converters don't just go off on their own. There obviously has to be a problem, which in our case, we had the burning oil problem and the wacky O2 sensor. So that could have actually deteriorated the catalytic converter. So I'm hoping we caught it, and hopefully we don't have to change it anytime soon. But as for now, the check engine light's off. The O2 sensors are performing exactly like they should. The catalytic converter seems to be functioning just fine. So there you have it. We finally fixed the problem, which I'm going to take it back to the importance of visual inspection, guys. Anytime you do any work on your car, or that's why even professional mechanics or shops do visual inspections, because sometimes the problem is just staring you in the face. It's super simple as like a hose not connected, or whatever the case may be. And that's what happened to us. It was basically the O2 sensors needed to be changed, but it was basically that little part that was throwing everything out of whack. So it caused me a lot of headache. I spent a lot of time on this vehicle than I should have if I would have just visually paid attention. I mean, I seen that and I thought about it, but I didn't look into it that much. So yeah, it's important to do your visual inspections, and it's also important not to just throw parts on your car just because you get a code for a catalytic converter or an O2 sensor or a MAF sensor or whatever the case may be. You always want to test and check your components. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, guys. I'm not going to do too much more on this. I know you guys are probably tired of seeing part 2, 3 and stuff on this check engine light, but we have it fixed and we're good to go. It's driving a lot better now, but we're still going to stay tuned for more videos on this Camry, because the next one is probably going to be a crankshaft pulley and who knows what else. So all right, guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. If you would like to be notified when I put out another video, make sure to hit that bell notification. And please subscribe to my channel, guys, to see some more informational videos and DIY projects. Until next time, guys, have a good one.